Okay, Lady Data. This Hangout's live.
We're live and broadcasting in HD.
Yeah.
Fancy.
We've done it.
Nice work.
Again, this is the show and tell that
Yes.
we do every week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where people around the world show and share their projects with you and others.
It's hella cold out, so why not stay indoors and do electronics? And warm yourself by the soldering iron. So hopefully we'll have some more people show up soon, but we'll kick it off with this fabulous show and tell. Show off your projects, in progress, finished, electronics, old stuff, crafts,
retro,
cosplay.
retro is allowed. Tours of workshops is allowed. And then everything else you just said is allowed.
Pretty much anything interesting.
Anything you made, yeah.
Anything cool.
Anything cool. Okay. All right, first up from Adafruit Northwest.
Tony D.
Tony D, what you got cooking this week?
Yeah, so I've been working on a new guide, and it showcases how to use one of these guys. So this is a Chromebook. It's just a laptop, but a really cheap laptop. So this guy, it's an 11-inch. It's an Acer C720, which is a really popular one. And it's only $200 retail, and I think you can get them for like $150. And it's nothing special. It's just a basic laptop, but it runs Chrome OS, which is kind of like a cloud-based operating system. It gives you a web browser. And the interesting thing, though, is if you've got a cheap laptop, and these are really popular with schools and places that are giving students lots of these, what can you do with it that's maker-related? Like, can you program an Arduino? Can you program a Raspberry Pi? And so that's what I've been playing with to try and figure out here how to do different development and programming with it. And there's a couple different options, and I'll go into more detail in the guide with it, but you can install like a Linux distribution on here that's not too difficult to get running. And once you've got that, then you can go crazy and install things like Arduino, Eagle, KiCad. Really, the sky's the limit with the software that you can put on it. So real quickly, let me just log into it.
You can't install Windows on it, or you would have to pay for Windows.
Yeah, right. They've got like some kind of BIOS thing that's a little crazy. But there is one thing, too. I think just in the last few months, they started offering Windows laptops that compete on price with the Chromebook. So you can get like $200 HP, which is also another good option, too, if you just want like a cheap development laptop. But with the Chromebook, it's kind of nice. So I've got running here the Arduino IDE, which might be kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is running in the Linux environment, so it's kind of weird. Chrome OS itself uses Linux, and then this has another Linux environment that runs inside of it that I've installed the Arduino IDE in. So then I've got an Arduino that it programmed. There we go. The white balance is good. So it's just doing the flashing right now. Little simple app, but it's pretty cool. Like for $200, you get a cheap laptop. The nice thing is these laptops, they're using modern processors. This one has like the latest kind of Intel CPU, so you can get 7 hours, 8 hours of battery life out of this. You can use it all day. And I'll go into detail in the guide of how to use it to develop for the Raspberry Pi. So it has like SSH and VNC and different remote connection tools that could connect to a Pi. Or you could use something like the Web IDE to just get a real simple little editor that you can use to run Python code. Or to do things like develop an Arduino sketch on it, where you can run in the Linux environment, the Arduino IDE. The annoying thing is, unfortunately, there's no Arduino Chrome OS application yet, so you can't just natively run Arduino on the Chromebook, and that's kind of why you have to jump through some hoops to get it to run on Linux.
Is there no Java for it, or just?
Yeah, it's even more difficult. Like, so Chrome only runs Chrome extensions on Chrome OS, or like a Chrome OS app. And so it has to be written to use their special Chrome compiler, and I don't think anyone from Arduino has done that yet. It's all open source code, so it wouldn't surprise me if at some point if someone figures out a way to get. Although, like you said, I guess Java could be kind of a bit of an issue with it. So that's kind of why you have to jump through some hoops and get like a Linux environment up and running on it. But once you do that, then you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. So, like, just get a blinking LED going, or
I mean, if you document it, people can duplicate it. But yeah, it's like I know there's nothing like Linux to really get you into like a yak shaving party where you're like, oh, now I have to like upgrade glibc 2.2, and then like, oh, like my serial console, it only appears like if I reboot with it plugged in, and like.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. So the script is called Crouton that someone wrote, and it does all that dirty work. So it'll set up the change root environment, and it just works, quote unquote. But like, yeah, you sometimes have to janitor it a little bit. And things up.
I'm sure that will be very popular tutorial because there are like hundreds of thousands of these Chromebooks out there.
So if you search online, using Google, speaking of it, for Chromebook should come with Arduino 1.0 installed and come with an Arduino. It's the post that we posted on Adafruit on December 18th December 18th, 2011.
Yeah, I saw that
Yeah,
post.
happy birthday. It's been 3 years.
So our big idea was every time you would get a Chromebook, it would come with Arduino installed, and it would come with an Arduino.
Yeah.
And this is before the Raspberry Pi came out.
Yeah.
So imagine the world, how much different it would be if all these schools got a Chromebook and they got an Arduino, how much physical computing would be there. I can't find my original other post on this, but there was something in the source code of Chrome that made it sound like there was an extension that they were working on for a while, so an Arduino would automatically be recognized. I don't know where it is. I can't, because everything, you search for Chrome, Google, Arduino comes up, but our post comes up on this. If anyone out there from Google's watching, it's not too late. I think schools are not going to do iPads. I think schools got in trouble for just buying iPads.
Yeah.
So I think the Chromebooks are going to be a really good option, and if they come with an Arduino, that's a big deal. Like Arduinos are like, less than $10 if you get them in.
Or even a Pro Trinket, build a
you should try to get the Trinket or Pro Trinket working, and then that'd be fun. It's like a $6 physical computing.
Yeah.
There's also like the in-browser Arduino programming Chrome plugins, or is it a Firefox plugin? I can't remember the. We have it for the Gemma. I don't remember the name of it, but it's an in-browser plugin. But yeah, you need to. I don't know. You have to have access to serial ports, and I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to get to serial.
Yeah, I did see there was one project, I think, that tries to get Arduino to run on Chrome OS or as a Chrome extension. The difficulty, though, is that I think it was just re-implementing Arduino's logic of like how it compiles and what toolchain it uses. So it might get out of step with the new boards and things.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. All right, well. Hey, if we get it working, we'll make like a really big shell script that you just like type in and just like does everything for you, and then like bam, you have like Arduino, and
you've got Arduino installed. You've got an environment to develop on a Raspberry Pi ready to go.
Okay. All right. We'll fix this. We're not going to wait around.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tony.
Okay.
Next up, we're going to go to Brian. Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Unmute your mic and
there we go.
Project. Looks like you have a nice workshop too.
That's a nice workshop.
Oh yeah, this is my home office. I do a little bit of puttering around with stuff here, but I'm primarily a woodworker, not an electrical person, and the electrical stuff's just been an add-on. I work at a place called Woodcraft, and at Woodcraft we turn a lot of pens. I don't know if you guys have seen the wooden pens and stuff that are floating around, but they're really popular with folks. They're easy to turn, and we have a lot of different kits that we put out with these things.
Wow.
But the problem we run into is, as far as getting decorations and stuff, you start with really nice looking wood, and then you can add stuff to it, little inlays and things like that. But as far as decorations, because it's turning on a lathe, you're limited to these little horizontal bands that come on here. Well, there's a guy named Beal that put out it's an ornamental lathe. He calls it the Pen Wizard. And a buddy of mine that works at Woodcraft, Lee Hansen, came back and said, it's a really cool thing, and we'd really like to be able to do something like this that we should be able to build, but we don't want to have a hand crank version. What can we do with computers to make a powered version of that? So we got to noodling around and said, well, we want to use 120 volts power tools, and we want to hook it up to a microprocessor, and we want to write the code with it, so what could possibly go wrong with something like that? So since about the summer, we've been doing different designs on a little device to actually engrave patterns in pen blanks. I'm going to go ahead and fire this thing up, and you can let it run for just a minute or so. I'm going to hit the Arduino control pad over here. Every part on here came out of Adafruit except for two that I'll point out, because I think you need to carry at least one of these in the store.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and hit run, and we'll see what happens. Typically, when you have these things running, you run them at the highest speed. You want to make sure that they're cutting, and if it gets a little bit off pattern or something like that, it has to be shut down in a hurry, so I'm going to keep my finger on the button. I don't know if you can hear me or if you can see the pattern being cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that it's shifting.
You can see and hear you. This is great.
Basically, it's set up so that it rewinds to the back to the beginning, and it'll do several passes. I've got several samples that I've turned on this thing.
Ooh, cool.
And you can do crosshatch patterns, you can do spirals, and I have a little zigzag I'm working. and had a lot of fun doing that. But I got irritated with the wire, so I built a little box to hold all the power stuff under. I used a power tail from the catalog, hooked it up to the Arduino so it controls turning the power on and off to the drill. I still have my master emergency, oh my god, what's gone wrong switch. Right on the drill.
I love that switch.
It's coming at me.
Well, the pieces that I couldn't get, there's an 8mm linear rod that the little the linear bearing, the 8mm linear bearing that you sell rides on. And you don't sell the rod in the store.
Yeah, we couldn't get one that was good enough quality that wasn't nicked or bent when they were shipped to us. So we have tons of samples, but they were all not as good as you'd get from McMaster Carr. So
okay. The other piece was down on this end. I'm trying to move the camera slowly so people don't get nauseous. There's an idler bearing on this end. It's basically two separate bearings. Each bearing has a flange on the outer edge, and that flange makes sure that the belt stays tracked in the center. And that, for devices where you don't have a motor mounted directly to the carriage running back and forth on the timing belt, it's kind of useful to have those idlers out there.
Okay. That's a good idea.
This is great. Well, thank you so much, Brian. Any photos you want to send our way, of course, email support@adafruit.com. You get a see it on the show and tell sticker to go along with that Arduino sticker that I saw on it. And,
what a cool project.
Yeah, this is really neat. And when you send a follow-up email, if you ever decide you guys are promoting it or whatever, please let us know. We'll do a blog post. And so
I've actually got a blog running out there. It's called briansworkbench.com.
Okay.
But I've been blogging the build of this. It has all the parts and stuff and all the Adafruit numbers that I was using to order this.
Okay.
And I was looking for permission to also be able to post some of the pictures directly from the catalog, link back to the catalog.
Permission granted.
Yeah, go for it.
Permission granted.
All right, great.
Make it so.
We don't have we don't have a board of director investors. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
I want to blog that. This is great. What an awesome project. It's perfect because it's like it's a microcontroller exactly what you need. It's something very precise.
Yeah.
And it can turn the motors at the same time, like, you know.
My favorite projects is when it combines things like woodworking and things like electronics. So those things go very well together, but you have to have someone who can imagine what you can do with electronics, imagine what you can do with wood.
Okay. I'm glad I carried all that CNC stuff. I wish I could get 8mm straight rod. Trust me, I have like 20 samples, and all of them were like, they just weren't as good as just getting from McMaster. It's very sad.
Okay, so we have a couple folks that are new. We're going to hit them first, and then we're going to try to wrap up with Roberto and Noah and Pedro. So if it's okay, we're going to get to Dannon?
Dannon.
You there, Dannon?
Dannon's dark.
Kind of in the dark there, Dannon. Well, it's interesting. Okay. Well, we're going to keep moving.
Kind of goth.
All right. Next up, Eric, how's it going?
Hey guys, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, show us your project.
So a last minute quick join. I brought a couple of things upstairs to show.
Oh. Let me give you a hand with that.
So this is the InMove 3D printed robotic arm I made, and I actually linked this to a MindFlex headset to be affected with brainwaves. I won't try and do it live here because guaranteed it won't work. That's just a fun project. Here's a datalogger I made recently, and I sent this to 58,000 feet on a high-altitude balloon. Just a couple of temp sensors and a Bluetooth module for troubleshooting. Awesome idea for people. Use Bluetooth for troubleshooting. Works great. But yeah, that's about it. Next project, a cube satellite.
Oh, wow. Cute.
I'm going to give it a try.
Oh, these are great. Well, email support@adafruit.com and you get a seen on the show and tell sticker. You can choose which project you want to put the sticker on. And if you have any photos or links to those projects, send it in so we can post those up. Those look really good.
Yep, makeme.org, mkme.org. Thanks, guys.
mkme.org. Thanks, Eric.
Send the sticker to space.
Okay, next up.
Okay.
Chris came in. We'll check back with Dan.
Okay, Chris has a Christmas tree.
Hey, Chris, how's it going? Show us your project.
All right, cool. So my friend Christy has a dear friend who lives out in California who is not going to have a Christmas tree this year. So she is making one I don't know if you can tell from the video, but these cross sections are the like fold up, like a pop-up book sort of.
Oh, yeah, that's smart.
Oh, okay. For easy shipping.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's going to be sending it to him, and it was actually really neat. We're using the little LED sequence from you guys and some stainless steel thread because it's much more flexible than even like silicone-coated wire for making it lay down flat. And it's all running off of a Gemma, and it's a pretty neat little project.
Oh, that's nice.
Was this your first project, Christy, for doing electronics?
More or less. He purchased me a Gemma with a NeoPixel ring last year for Christmas, so I've been fiddling around with programming different patterns on it, but this is my first time actually working with the little sequins and LEDs and things.
Okay, good work. You nailed it. Good project.
That's a beautiful blinking Christmas tree.
Yeah. Are you guys? Do you have anything up online? Photos or anything that you can?
No.
You should. Well, you don't have to, but if you do. Email them to us, but it could be extra special. Email support@adafruit.com, and you can have an as seen on the show and tell sticker as an ornament on the trees.
Yeah.
You can send a link to the video.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Chris and Christy.
It's a twinkling tree.
Okay. Next up, we're going to try to go to Dan and see. Okay.
Right, Danon's got wheels now.
All right.
He's got some rover.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just like checking in over. Is this nice?
I don't know what's going on here, but
All
there's
right.
just wheels and then blinking LEDs in the background.
Oh, hey, Dan. How's it going?
Hey, there we go. Finally.
All right. Show us your project.
It actually worked.
Yep.
Well, what it is, it's a 1/10 scale RC car that I used an Arduino to make a robot out of. I'm starting to, I should say.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Cool. It's got big wheels. And it's got a little space for a breadboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're exploring this car.
There's a frame car. Durable. And you can just put batteries on it and it can run.
Yeah, it's got a 10 amp LiPo on it, so it'll run a long time.
Okay. And you got some nice LEDs in the background too.
Oh yeah, that's my interior lighting.
Oh, very cool. If you have any photos or if you're doing a project log, let us know. We'll post up a link. But either way, email support@adafruit.com, and we'll send you an as seen on the show and tell sticker, which it looks like there's plenty of room on the side there for it.
There is.
All right. Thanks, Danon.
Okay, we're going to go to Roberto, and then we're going to wrap up with Noah and Pedro. So Roberto, keep it to a couple minutes, and then we'll wrap up with Noah and Pedro, and that'll be the show and tell this week.
Okay. I have a more of a hardware project, 2 projects to show off this time. I have a software project that's kind of keeping me more busy, but I took the Adafruit radio, and I found this really tiny enclosure that the mini Perma Proto fits in. Sorry, the medium, and I'm using the regular Trinket 3-volt, and I haven't made holes for like the head jack or the on and off switch, but this is working really well in my car. I had been lugging around this thing that it uses the amplifier and plugging that in. And yeah, so I went from this thing that has the amplifier to this, and I'm just using my tablet as a music source. And the second one is apparently I have an older version of the Trinket 3-volt that doesn't have the ground on the back.
Yeah, that was added in 1.1.
Okay, yeah, so I guess that's confirmation that I have an older one. And I couldn't put the, I was trying to do the question mark block, but I didn't have the ground pin on the back, so I used the Perma Proto board to make it.
Okay.
And because it wouldn't fit in the 3D model, I used this this little box and printed out the question mark.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I put the whole thing in here, and this is going to be it's going to be my contribution to my company's White Elephant gift exchange. So hopefully someone will like it.
Oh, that's cool. So they'll just Bing,
I'm
bing.
gonna bring out the USB eventually right here, so they can use either the LiPo battery and recharge it, or just have it be on their desk via USB cable powered.
Schools will shake it and they'll be like, it's full of coins.
Yeah, go get it. They'll know it's from Mario.
All right.
All right. Well, those are two excellent projects. Email support@adafruit.com and get as seen on the show and tell sticker. Thank you for showing your projects. You always come in
These are some fun
with
projects.
you always have good projects.
I did like 3.
Can I share one last thing that may help others?
Yeah.
I had originally soldered the antenna straight to the board, but on my first initial trials in the car, the blue wire that it comes with just got ripped off the solder. So what I did was just add a 1-count header pin, and so I put the sorry, I'm not sure where to add it, but I just, instead of having a solder on, it's using the female jack to.
Oh yeah.
Like that, if it gets yanked too hard, it just comes off, and I can put it back on.
Yeah, it's a quick release, or it's kind of like the mag safe without the mag. It's just safe.
Thanks for having me.
All right,
Okay,
thanks so much, Roberta. All right, and Adafruit, Southeast, Noah and Pedro. How's it going, guys?
Hey guys, happy Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
You guys look fantastic. Did you do like new camera stuff?
It's progressive now, not interlace.
No,
Nothing?
it's the same camcorder.
Everything?
Safari's crashing over here, so.
Okay.
That. Yeah, so we just wanted to remind everybody that the Molespot Taz 4 is on sale.
Yeah, that's right.
Very large things. Especially what do you got? So if you're into cosplay, want to make some costumes and stuff, go ahead and pick one up so you can make one of these.
Oh my goodness, that's Ichigo. Or you could maybe go with something like this, something more modern. We have a Star Lord,
Which is pretty cool. So we're constantly impressed with what this machine can do, both Ninja Flex, PLA, ABS, hips. You can throw everything at it. Ginormous build plate. We're going to do a quick little tutorial of how to get better PLA prints out of it this week. So we'll show a quick little guide on how to install a second fan.
Oh,
and
cool.
for the project, we're going to be releasing, it's like a roundup of all of the projects we've done this year. That you can turn into like ornaments. You can have little electronic ornaments.
Yay! There's the video that I meant to play. Ornaments, very cool. And then next week we have a project that we're using a lot in our video production. We made a DIY monitor using the HDMI display backpack.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we'll share about that next week. But of course, tomorrow be sure to tune in 3 p.m. every Thursday with myself, Pedro, and Matt. We'll go over news and other interesting things in the world of 3D printing and electronics.
All right. And a special thanks to you guys. So we took a risk a long time ago with stocking the Taz 4. It's not the cheapest 3D printer, and it's not the most expensive one, but it is the only 100% open source 3D printer. And I just saw a news article today. So they're a 100% open source hardware company, and it looks like they'll hit 4 million in sales this year. Wow. And I believe a lot of it's because of all the cool projects that people saw and all the cool projects that you guys did, showcasing what it can do. So, you know, there was a lot of other choices that we could have made with 3D printers, but we said if we'll stock an open source one if people really want to support open source, and we'll also try to do projects. So the cosplay and the big mask. Can you hold up the big the skull mask looking thing? That was kind of scary.
Let me sort of just morphs in.
Yeah. And so you really can't do that. Like the small 3D printers, the low-cost ones are great, but if you ever want to do costuming or like big prop stuff, the Taz is one of the best ones.
Yeah, they're so open source that they even publish what they pay for bills, like electricity and like what each part costs to produce. So they put up a spreadsheet of all that stuff. And in the link for tomorrow's show, the CEO did like a Ask Me Anything on Reddit, and you can see a bunch of stuff there that they really are open source. I'm really glad we picked them.
So thanks for doing all those projects, because I think it helped them out, and I'm glad it's working out.
Our pleasure. It's always fun.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a couple cats to say goodbye to. Goodbye, Dan and the cat.
Bye,
and bye,
Dan
Carmen.
and the cat. Bye, Carmen the cat. Oh, Carmen's like so tired.
That's a tired cat.
It's because Carmen has these like long thread, like she's very furry.
All right. Well, thank you everyone who are on the show and tell. Thank you, Tony.
Show.
Thank you, Roberta. Thank you, Don Pedro. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Brian. We're here every week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show and tell. If you're on the show and tell, don't forget to email support@adafruit.com to get as seen on the show and tell sticker.
Yeah, everyone gets a sticker.
We'll see everybody next week, and we'll see you on Ask an Engineer in 2 minutes. 2 and 2. 2 and 2. Okay.
Yeah, we do this thing.
Bye-bye.
Everyone's got these like crazy props.